hot air. So my name is Ian. We had Hurricane Ian, so the whole idea of a lot of wind has come up lately. But, sorry.
He's full of jokes too.
At times.
All the time.
I've been thinking a lot about natural laws lately. And there are certain laws in the world that happen, no matter what. So if I take this can and I smash it on my finger, what's going to happen?
I don't recommend doing that. Please don't in my presence. I will not enjoy it.
Okay.
Any more than you will.
So, but what if I'm thinking I'm a good person? Is that going to affect what happens when I smash my finger?
No.
What if I'm a really nice person?
Oh.
What if I'm a really bad person? Is that going to make it?
No.
So,
Well, I mean, maybe if you've been hit a whole lot, and so you're just used to getting your body beat up, and
so
at that point, maybe you have less fear over it.
okay. Well, how about, do I have a volunteer?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and do it, but.
What the?
So, natural laws. Force is carried through on the ends, which are the strongest part. It doesn't hurt your finger at all.
What?
That's a natural law. People don't understand the physics behind it easily. We don't think about that. But there's natural laws that govern the universe. There's natural laws that govern our lives. Sometimes we can understand them, sometimes we don't. But we haven't heard of it in a case like this. This is a real can of soup, by the way. You can try it at home if you want. Just make sure you don't hit your finger on the end. But it seriously doesn't hurt. So part of Champion Circle is we're thinking about how we can improve ourselves. And what are some natural laws? What are the ways we can use to accelerate our lives, accelerate our goals, become stronger, faster, better? Any $6 Million Man fans? So as I was thinking about this and these natural laws, I said, okay, when I'm in a long drive, I always want to go a little bit faster. So if I'm on a 10-hour drive and I increase my speed 1 mile per hour, how much faster do I get to my destination? 1 mile an hour, 10 hours, 10 minutes, good. It's only 10 minutes. If I increase 2 miles, then it's miles an hour, it's 20 minutes faster. But there's kind of a set progression with that. So I'm a finance person, so I got kind of comparing this idea. If I'm driving faster, well, what about money? If I can save $10 a month for 10 years, any math people in here? How much do I get?
$10 a month?
$10 a month for 10 years.
Like that's like $1,200. Wait, for 10 years?
Yep.
And
I wrote
$10
20
a
years.
month?
Let's do 20 years, because that's what I wrote in my notes. 2,400.
Yeah, 100. That's not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, because
So,
it's only $20 per.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so if every month I put $10 under the mattress, at the end of 2 years, I'll have 2,400, or 20 years, I'll have $2,400. Now, what if instead I invest that money and I get 5% interest on that? I'll give you the answer to this one. Compound interest on it comes to about $4,300. So it's almost twice as much money if you have your money work for you with compound interest. So in our life, what we're trying to do is find ways not to, if we want to be more productive, we think, oh, I should be faster. Well, if you're faster, you're just going to get a little bit more. If you can make your life work for you, the way compound interest does with money, how can we accelerate our life that way? So I thought of a couple examples. How can we accelerate or make compound interest for our time? I had a friend that came over from Japan a couple weeks ago. She had about a week in Japan, or a week here from Japan. Had a whole bunch of people she wanted to see, almost no time to do anything.
That's when you do. Hey everyone, I'm going to dinner at this time. If you want to see me, you have to come to this.
Perfect, that's exactly what we did. Actually, what she had me do, because I was the one who was here, so I sent out the invitations, called people, and we had 20 people at a restaurant. So instead of having to meet 20 different people at different times and drive and all that, we compounded that time, that interest in time, to bring everyone together in one place to meet at one time. There's a phrase we use a lot here called habit stacking. Anyone not know what habit stacking is? So habit stacking is kind of combining habits together. So I'm going to use John's example because I'm not as good at habit stacking myself. He's got his daily mantras that he reads to himself. So every day when he's brushing his teeth, he stands in front of the mirror and he reads these little mantras, affirmations. That's the word I wanted. Thank you. He reads his affirmations to himself while he's brushing his teeth. He does two things at once. And then every time he knows he's going to brush his teeth every morning, so that reminds him at the same time to read these affirmations to himself. We stack these things together. When I was in better physical and mental discipline, I would go to the gym, and I had a TV show that I liked to watch, so I would only watch it at the gym. When I wanted to watch that show, that reminded me I had to go to the gym. When I went to the gym and suffered, I got the reward of watching that show. I was able to stack those things together to make that more productive. Now, a lot of us have our own businesses. I do a lot of sales. So how can I compound my interest in time for sales? I do networking meetings. This is an example of one. I don't really sell things to the people here, but if I go to a real networking, a BNI group, for example, what I'm doing, I'm sharing what I do with a room full of people who then are listening for the keywords that they can refer me to people. So when they're out talking to their clients and their friends, and they hear life insurance, like, oh, you should talk to Ian. I'm able to compound rather than try and find one person to sell, one person. I get a whole room of unpaid salespeople to sell for me.
You should come visit mine.
I may need to, yes.
It's the one here.
Okay, it's a long drive. I'm not gonna
It's
Might be worth
9:15.
it, though.
It's 9:15. We're 77 members strong.
Okay, that's good.
So it's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it. So, and that's part of the idea too. You get enough people together. If you've got 5 people, you've got a small group. You get in a group with 77 people.
Yeah.
If they
We
like
might
you,
end up at 78 next week. So
Okay.
We're growing fast.
79 if I show. Oh, not. Oh.
No,
I
well,
can't
we're
be a member, I
generally
can
well
listen.
over 100 with visitors.
Yeah.
So you should come.
Okay. So how much does that amplify? How much does that accelerate what you're doing? If you're able to get in front of that many people, not to sell to them, but to encourage them to be salespeople for you. You know, it's kind of the golden goose idea that I always talk about. These are your golden geese. What can you do instead of taking one lump of time, of money, of people, whatever? What can you do to get it recurring so it keeps going without you having to work at it? And the last one that I put down is how can we have a compound interest with the problems in our life or solving those problems? And that's the secret of Champion Circle, which is the mastermind. If we can come to a group, and for the newer ones, if you haven't heard this yet, we're going to get into masterminding later on today. For the mastermind, you've got a group of people who are going to be focused on helping you solve a problem in your life, your business, whatever it is that you're focused on right now that you're working on. You get I call it targeted brainstorming. I don't know if that's a good term or a bad term, but each of us kind of says, this is what I'm working on, and then we get ideas from everyone else around us. So we can compound that idea and accelerate that. And accelerate is a big term we use for Champion Circle. We want to accelerate our lives, accelerate our goals. I love John's story about what got him into Champion, the idea of Champion Circle to begin with. He set a goal, how much money he wanted to make in a year. And then as he was looking at that, he thought, why am I waiting a year to make that much money? I should try and make that much money in 6 months instead of a year. If that's my goal, why don't I try and do that faster? So he looked at the tools around him and said, how can I do that faster? And then he did it in 3 months. I need to talk to John about how to get my migraine faster. But that's kind of the idea. How can we accelerate our lives? Rather than doing things one thing at a time, what can we join together? What things can we combine? What tools are out there to help us to move faster and better at what we're doing? Rather than just sticking with the same thing that we always do every time. And that's kind of our idea, to be a champion. Champion isn't necessarily the one who comes in first in the race. I think we all know champions in our life who have never come in first, but they are a true champion. They're someone we look up to, someone we value because of their character, who they are, the things they can achieve, whether they're the first or not. So with that, let's look for ways we can accelerate our lives, get more richness and meaning out of our lives, and accomplish the goals we have set with the tools around us to be faster and better. And I'm not sure how to wrap that up in a concise way.
Power clap for Ian.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Power clap, for these of you who are new, are looking at you guys. Power clap is a single clap on the count of 3 to just emphasize the importance of that. Why spend all your time with a whole bunch of claps when you can get all the power in one clap? So let's try one now just for practice. 1, 2, 3. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was strong.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn it